Hi. Before I answer today's question, I wanted to let you know of the four answers, the fourth one is a secret that many authors have not considered. So let's get into it. So today's question is, do authors work for a company? Now, this is an excellent question because part of the question is most likely coming from someone who is not currently an author, but maybe is considering becoming an author and then wanting to know, does that mean working for a company or working for yourself or working for maybe another alternative I haven't even considered. So, and that is clearly so. But before I answer this question, I wanted to let you know this is Chris Baird from SelfPublishingMadeEasyNow.com. Go ahead and hit the subscribe if you'd like me to produce more videos like this one. And check out my self-publishing secrets checklist below in the description that will help you get started on your self-publishing journey or help you advance in the one that you've already been moving on. So let's get right on into it. When I first started self-publishing, I started with, well, just a book, not a publishing house or anybody in contact with me. I started with my first Kindle book. Since then, there's been about 170 books, actually more than that since then. But I started with one book, and I was working completely for myself. So I did not work for a company. In fact, I myself I wasn't under, even as a solopreneur, I wasn't actually even under a company at that time either. And so, but since that time, I later discovered as the money started to come in, the amount of money that was coming in made it difficult to do taxes on the revenues and such. And so I needed to have a company. Some people like to use a C Corp and some people like to set it up as a limited liability. In Norway, it would be a limited liability company, an LLC that you would set up in order to best serve, both in terms of taxes and in terms of just keeping track of the money that's coming in is not your personal money, but you separate the two, and that makes it a lot easier and also protects you legally, but you should of course speak to a lawyer. So let's get into the answers to the question. So in general, the answer is no. As an author, you're not working for a company. You're not an employee of a company. However, there are exceptions like always. And one of the exceptions, it is that if you are a freelancer, well, then you are in fact perhaps working. You're working for yourself, but if you're working within a company, sometimes freelancers, let's say on Upwork, they do end up getting hired by companies to write full time, including also copywriters and people who are responsible for social media marketing and things like that can sometimes be hired as employees of a company, hired to write for that company, sales and marketing material, or even the core content, a technical writer or something along those lines. So that is a possibility, but the vast majority are independent writers. So you may also be paid to write a book that will be published by a traditional publishing house. So, and that also, you would still not be an employee of that company, but you would be working for that company in terms of putting your books out there in order to make sales, and then they would pay you a percentage on those sales. Usually about 10-11% is what you would make there, as opposed to standard self-publishing where you're able to make about 70% if you don't go through that, right? That's what you can get on your Kindle books, between $3 and $10 a piece. But the secret is that the huge advantage of being an author is that you have the freedom to work for yourself. There's not somebody telling you what you have to write. Assuming we're not even dealing with the publishing houses and you're self-publishing, nobody's going to tell you when you have to put out your content. Nobody's going to be coming and saying how much you can earn and how many books you can write or what types of books you need to write. You have the complete freedom of when you want to work during the day. If you have a laptop with you, you're able to just write, or maybe even just speak into a microphone and have it transcribed into a book, which is also an option that many self-publishing authors like to use. I personally like to just write on the keyboard itself to a certain amount of words a day, and that gets you through a number of books. So this is one of the best ways of doing it. But this is a secret that a lot of people don't consider, and that's the reason why. Well, with the question of do authors work for a company is a fantastic question, because this is one of the main advantages of going the self-publishing route. So what have you found? Do you work for a company or do you work for yourself? Do you prefer it as working for yourself, or maybe you would prefer to actually work in a company? Go ahead and check out the next video above if you'd like to hear answers just like this one. Thanks.